Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're broadcasting live from our sports center in Lagos, Nigeria. You can be part of the show because we want to talk about Women's Football League in Nigeria. Be part of the show on Twitter, Channels_Sports, Facebook, Channels-Sports. I told you that today there were wins for FC Robo Queens, Adamawa Queens, Edo Queens. Also, Sunshine Queens went away to win. But only let's stay with that action that happened right here in Lagos, FC Robo Queens against Oshun Babes. It's good to see that the league is back on it. But aside the football, I'm sure there are some other things that you'd like to see better in the league.
I think, yes, we are happy that our women are playing. You know, there was some lull at some time. They were idle. And we agitated that the league should start so that the women can get busy. But you see, we are talking of getting sponsorship. And you see, the corporate bodies are not charitable organizations. You have to package a product.
Yeah.
Branding.
Absolutely.
Look at the venue. We talked about the wall. You know, it's so dry, so looks dirty on screen. And look at the pitch panel. You know, it doesn't take much. These are the basic things that you see elsewhere. The pitch is green, is good for football, but the ground, the surroundings, the aesthetics. These are the things that should attract sponsorship. And I know Aisha Falodi is watching this program. They can do better so that our women can, get sponsors, make some money. The clubs can be paid, for participating in the league, and that will also rub off on what the women earn. Yeah. But I think this is poor. Look at the organization. It's poor.
Austin looks very much like a secondary school competition. It's not proper at all in terms of organization. I would love to see more. I don't know if to call it pitch invention or just part of the package.
So that was part Austin, of the match.
It's part of the package, right? It's even more annoying.
And you can wonder if Lagos is like this,
how will other venues look as well? And it starts from the mindset. What is really the plan for the league? I mean, we saw the way it was hurriedly brought together. It looks very hurriedly. It looks as if they just, more like, let's just go and run it.
Look like we have a league.
Starting from the time you put it down in terms of a plan, there should be a structure in place. Especially when it has to do with the venue, because you are putting it together. People are going to be seeing clips of it on Twitter. You want to make sure that this looks like a serious competition. It doesn't look serious, Austin. We understand the fact that we want the female football back as soon as women football back as soon as possible. But in terms of organization, Austin, it is far below par. It doesn't look like a country that has ever produced a nation that has been to the World Cup. It's
world-class female football players.
It's appalling to look at, Austin. But we are glad that no matter what, at least it's back, but it can be better organized.
So that last part, that's what some of our officials in the NFF just take that. We're glad that it is back. And if you want to trace this, we'll be talking about this same problems for over 10 years now. If you've been following women's football, and it is still where it is. So it means we're not doing anything about it. It means we just like it like that. We just want to be.
No, we have really retrogressed, if you want to put it in the proper perspective. If you also consider, when you look at it, when you consider some years ago when we used to have a sponsor for the women's league, the same sponsor that was part of the men's league was also compelled
as part of the package.
And it was well organized. There was unfair. There was that awareness was there. The ladies were happy to play football. And I think these things are not rocket science. If you package a good product, there is likelihood that you will get support. But if you don't package a good product, nobody is going to support you. So I think they have to put on their thinking cap, come up with initiative. If you don't have any, you can get an agent, you can get a firm to help you package the league. They get their commission. But this thing is business.
That's what it is.
This is business because some of these women are breadwinners. And you can't be telling them stories all the time that blah, 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 continue playing. What are you playing for? What is at stake?
Austin, play these games in a proper football match, stadium, not in a training ground. Very much like a training ground, Austin.
You could still package that place.
Absolutely. Look like. I mean, the wall and everything. Austin. I mean, how much will it cost to just paint that wall? If it has to be a wall, Austin, if we have to, how much will it cost? 150,000 thereabout? Or it really doesn't matter, Austin? Let's just have the match.
Those are the issues.
Very, very disturbing, Austin.
And I keep saying it that until you solve a problem, it is still a problem. It is when it is solved, you now say, okay, we got a solution. And
if we're even talking about the war, look at the pitch panel.
Yeah, look at it. That's what we use the right word. They just want to get it out there. And no thumbs up for organizers of the league this time around, or officials of the NFF. We need to do better. Nigeria is better than what we're seeing right now. So the girls don't have any choice. They will come out and play football. For a lot of them, this is their career. This is what they've dreamt to do, and they are doing it. Well, for the coaches, they're not complaining about the pitch, the wall, or the pitch panels. They're talking about the match. After the action comes the reaction. Let's listen to the coaches on the show tonight.
This is one of the toughest games I've ever played in my life. A game that will play 90 minutes in opponent half and will fail to convert our goals is very tough. But I still give God the glory that at least 1 goal, 3 points is something to write home about. In FC Robo, you must be able to play 4 wings. You must be able to adapt to 4 different wings. So you need to adapt as the game changes. So there's nobody that is permanent as a striker or as a no. I don't train players like that. And I want you to understand that it's an academy. So you give you the rudiments of the game from the scratch.
Well, we are here to pick a point in the game. We have actually mapped out the strategy to get the point. Well, it's game. During the tail end of the game, where we conceded that goal, it was painful, but then that is football. We work on defense to map out strategy to mark out the set pieces. So the game wasn't bad. Both sides were officiating well, good. So we had game. It's one of those games, you lose, you won, or you draw.
So that's it, Coach Emmanuel Sawan, Laidi Bashiru, coaches of FC Robo Queens and Oshun Babes, giving their reactions after that match. And then for Coach Emmanuel Sawan of FC Robo Queens, it made us realize that the league is competitive because they had to fight, dig deep to get that late winner.
Yeah, you have to earn your victory.
Yeah.
You know, so as a coach, you expect that matches will be very tough. The other teams in the league are not there for sightseeing. Mm-hmm. They actually traveled from Osogbo to come and play in Lagos, and they knew that Lagos is like a no man's land. If you play well, you are likely to win. And look at the fans there. The fans really enjoy good football, so much so that they had to even invade the pitch at the end of the game. But that did not rub off on the quality of play. Yeah. We hope that the organization can also complement the quality that we have in women football. Robo FC used to be club of Azizat Oshuala.
That's right.
You know, so it should be a big club in all estimation.
Yeah.
And I think, like we said here, Aisha Falode is watching. We should do. We are not castigating. We love women's football. No, we want the best for women's football. And if we get the best, money will come in. Yeah. You don't even need to go around politicians to beg for money. They will come when the product is good.
It's branding. You just mentioned Asisa Adoshola. She came out of that product. Rashida Tajibade also
came out
of in Europe. Yeah. So their club says, okay, let's just package a documentary and show where you started playing football or something.
Austin, the talent is there, but the problem is the packaging. As O'Neill once said, outsource it. We know that you might not, it's not everything that you know. Outsource it. There are companies that can take over and brand this competition for you, put it together and attract sponsorship as well.
Yeah, so that's it. With the Women's League action, we resume tomorrow. Delta Queens will take on Rivers Angels. Hopefully Rivers Angels are done hurting after losing out of the ITO Cup final. Let's see what they will give in that one. And the one I'm really looking forward to, Nasarawa Amazons, the winner of the ITO Cup, taking on Bayelsa Queens. It's another power champions football in Nigeria. We'll monitor it and we'll come back to you. Let's talk about African football now. Esperance of Tunisia, they have been reinstated as the winners of the 2019 CAF Champions League by the Court of Arbitration for Sport after the first leg of the final between the Tunisian champions and Wydad Casablanca ended in a 1-1 draw in Rabat. The return leg in Tunis ended in controversy. Only what was CAF thinking by saying that Esperance should return the trophy, return the medals?
They were high on something.
What were they thinking at that point?
Absolutely shameful, Austin. It's a huge embarrassment for African football. For every competition, there are rules and regulations. When you register, you are ready to abide by the rules. The rules are very clear. If you abandon a game, you automatically forfeit that game. And it shouldn't be a subject of debate going into CAF Executive Committee meeting, trying to lobby Congress to, politicize football matters, and see where it has brought us.
Yeah.
And thankfully, CAS, restored the integrity of football. Because what would have happened is that you sent the wrong signal, the wrong precedence. Okay, in the nearest future, you are playing in the final, a team can orchestrate violence.
I say, okay.
You get a
Meet in the
replay.
boardroom.
Get a replay. So we're just happy that CAS did the right thing.
Yeah.
But in the first place, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's bad that it has to get to this level.
Yeah.
I agree. And Joseph, as bad as it is, and we're saying well done to CAS because that's where to run to where you don't have any other place to go. But CAF, good thing that they have now said the Champions League final and the CAF Confederation League final will be played only one leg.
I mean, it's the way it's done in Europe. I mean, so they are really living up to the European, style of arrangement. It's good. It's a welcome development. But I just also want to thank CAS for bailing us out of this, misery. It really would have been total embarrassment to football in general if there had been another final, another presentation. It would have been phenomenal. I don't think we've ever had such a thing before, and I'm glad that we won't be having it again.
And then, just in case you don't know, football can be funny, and then why dad eventually now goes on to win.
Representation.
And then the Nigerian fans will have click, well done, thank you. So yeah, let me join my analysts to say thank you, CAS, for taking that embarrassment out of African football. Hopefully, this will be a good lesson for CAF. We'll go back to women's football now. FIFA, they have approved the Women's World Cup that it will be expanded to 32 teams. Oh yeah, this one is also good for women's football because, well, agree or not, the last World Cup was really competitive. Having doubt that maybe when they increase it, it won't be that competitive. You might just be shocked.
Yeah, let me use this analogy to explain it.
Yeah.
The Women's World Cup was going on at the same time when the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah.
And, after watching some of the matches in Egypt and you watch the Women's World Cup, you'll see there's a huge gap, the difference. I mean, the women really came to the party. I mean, the final was one of the best in recent history.
Yeah.
The final between Netherlands and the United States of America. And when you consider that Netherlands, are just getting to the final for the first time, you begin to imagine the kind of potentials for that European country. So I think they deserve much more. FIFA took the right decision so that more countries can begin to participate and feel, feel the fantasy, the excitement of playing at the World Cup.
And it wasn't even just with the Netherlands. Think of that, Sweden stunned Germany.
Yeah.
So that's some of the things that you can get with the expansion and bring it back to the AFCON. We thought that the new format would have been boring. Madagascar.
A new phrase in African football just
because
came
we
in.
thought, it would be boring, it would be too much. Madagascar. Benin Republic.
Yeah.
So that's an opportunity for the other guys to, step up and say, look, we've been given a chance to be part of this and we'll prove a point. So from 2023, FIFA and Women's World Cup will be expanded to 32 teams. Welcome development. We'll monitor it. The World Football Governing Body, FIFA, will stay with them some more. They've shortlisted 10 coaches as best women's coach at the best FIFA Football Awards. England manager Phil Neville and US head coach Jill Ellis, of course, made the shortlist. Premier League managers Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Mauricio Pochettino were also nominated for the Best Men's Coach Award. The public will vote from the shortlist in each category with the winners revealed on September the 23rd. Let's just talk about this one quickly, Joseph. It's arguably the best coaches that they've got, but some guys are shaking table on social media already. They say, where's Jose?
I mean, you don't want to.
They say, where is Jose? Look at them looking for trouble.
What has he won lately?
I know.
They're just being sarcastic.
Sarcastic, certainly not. Great lineup. I love the fact that the Algerian coach is the mix. Although I don't see him winning, but I mean, it contains the ones who the major coaches that have won great titles, and if you really look at it, they're all entitled to in their own right, of winning, this award. But I think Didier Deschamps should take this, and maybe Didier Deschamps and Jurgen Klopp as well will be top contenders. But it remains to be seen. But I just love the list, the coaches that have made the list. I think they are They're worthy of that position.
And you love those upsets. I'm sure as you're looking at it, if they leave you give it to the Ajax coach.
No. I mean, yeah, he won.
Yeah.
He won the double in. He won the Eredivisie and won the Dutch Cup. And
Took
also-
out Juve, took out Real Madrid.
Yeah, but you also look at the coaches that won the top prize. So it pales into significance when you compare those coaches. Austin, I want to talk about the men's player shortlist. Like you said, a lot of guys are also shaking the tables on Twitter. You know, some are saying, why didn't Bernardo Silva and Alisson Becker make the list? And they're trying to rubbish the list. But you see, if you give the three of us, if you ask us to make a short list of 10, we are probably going to have different lists.
That's right.
Maybe five names could be consistent, but we are probably going to have. So you look at the panel that came up with these nominees, and you want to give it to them. They are men of integrity. So let's just allow them to do their work. And the guidelines also, if you know the guidelines, it will also help you to understand how they arrived at these nominees. Because the guidelines stated that their performance on the pitch and their general behavior on and off the pitch. So it matters.
Ambassadorial rules.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was difficult to see Jose there. Shake more tables tonight. Let's just run through that for our best players for the men's shortlist. Virgil van Dijk, a good season he had with Liverpool. Sadio Mane, more tables, they were shaking. You football fans in Nigeria. We'll come back to that. There's Mohamed Salah of Egypt and Liverpool, Harry Kane of England and Tottenham, Cristiano Ronaldo of Portugal and Juve. Lionel Messi of Argentina and Barcelona. You see, they do these things. They know how they do it. If you call Ronaldo, you must call Messi. Matthijs de Ligt, fantastic player. Should be out of Ajax anytime soon. Frankie de Jong of Netherlands and Ajax. Kylian Mbappe, that's a good one, but really tough for him. PSG and Eden Hazard of Belgium. Formerly Chelsea, now Real Madrid. And so, you guys shaking tables, why don't we have Nigerian players
on
the list?
Not close.
What's going on? What's going on?
Not close.
I see those messages. I won't read it. I know where you guys are going. But yeah, we have top players.
They can wait for the CAF Player of the Year.
Yeah.
That's where we belong.
Yeah.
CAF Player of the Year.
CAF Player of the Year.
Maybe
Odion Igalo. Might be in the mix.
Yeah.
Maybe Odion to the maybe 5-man short list.
5-man short list.
Not even the top 3, not the winner.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Or you and I know the winner.
No.
If it's not Sadio Mane, Mohamed Salah. Yeah, looks likely.
Riyad Mahrez on the AFCON, guys.
That's true.
That's true. He will be in the
He won a
mix.
double with Man City.
There we
Definitely.
go.
So
We've just done the short list.
Although he's part of the 3-man short list.
He's already out of it as it is.
You see what I'm saying? That's what we're talking about. Let's just run through the women's players short list. We have Lucy Browns of England and Olympic Lyon. There's Julie Edds in there, Caroline Graham-Hansen. Just scroll along list, but you cannot talk about that list without calling Alex Morgan of the United States, Megan Rapinoe.
She is the winner.
Yeah.
Austin, she was winning.
Easily. What a World Cup it was for her. What a World
Phenomenal.
Cup. Ellen White is also in there, and Wendy Renard. Let me go to Twitter and read the decent comments. You can talk to us on Twitter, channels_sports, Facebook, channels-sports. Says Olawi Ademola says, more still needs to be done on Nigeria Women's League in terms of sponsorship, welfare, infrastructure, and media. When is the Nigeria Premier League starting? Talking about the NPFL.
I don't know. You should ask the LMC. We are hearing sometime in September, but nothing is concrete yet.
But he made a good point. I love what he listed. He said sponsorship.
Absolutely.
And we talked about
packaging.
Welfare. Welfare. Players' welfare is very, very important.
Very
you don't want to hear some of the stories.
Heartland had all manner of issues.
No, you don't want to go there now.
Heartland Queens.
Infrastructure, what we talked about with the legacy pitch, and the media. Let's bring it to the media. So the media can only do what they can. For instance, Channels TV went out today, we covered it. But you find out that it will actually discourage more if it's not good, because when you bring out all of those stuff that we saw now, somebody's sitting somewhere like, how can we come into this? So other things must work for media to work properly.
Yeah, I agree with you. And thankfully, Aisha Falode is part of us. She's a media person, so she could use her contacts to get more media attention for the women's league.
And we need to package it there. Highlights.
It's very important. Highlights. Let's go on this final break. When we come back, we'll still stay with this women's league development. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're talking about league football in Nigeria and ways it can get better. Joseph, you were coming up with the word packaging.
Yeah.
And that's actually what it should
I mean, when competitions of this nature are being held, we expect that at least we should have something like a highlight package. You know, put it on TV, let package it and let people see the highlights of the games. You know, the high points. Let's see it. Since you can't really broadcast it live, you can put it on Twitter. And people will share it. It will be shared, and you know, other than just leave it the way it is. And if channels comes in, shows us a clip, other stations as well. Let's have something like a highlight package of Nigerian Women League. It will go a long way in selling the brand, you know, to Nigerians.
Okay, Tari Aruwe on Twitter says it's gradually talking about the FIFA Best Award. He says it's gradually, I believe. With the stars we have now, sooner or later, we'll have our players in the FIFA list. With the players we have now. And by the way, FIFA said that Chukwueze is among one of the most promising players in the world.
Yeah. We've had very young players also nominated as tipped as one of the promising players in the world. And what happened in the past? So I think the issues are very clear. Our players need to play for the best clubs in Europe, to get nominated. And it requires a lot of hard work. Yeah. Sometimes you put aside a lot of maybe consideration for money and get yourself prepared for what it takes to get to that level. But as it is now, we should not kid ourselves. We don't have the quality to get a player nominated in the top 10. It's not. We are not there yet. But maybe Chukwueze, if he continues in his stride, get more playing time at Villarreal, and when he's going to move, look for a club that is highly rated, perhaps he could get there. He has the potentials. He can do well in future.
Another angle someone is talking about, Joseph, on Twitter is the transfer of African players. And you get to hear top African players such as Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Riyad Mahrez, Sadio Mane, and the huge price tag on them. There were times we used to have that for Nigerian players. How come we don't have that anymore?
The issue is that for some time, our players have not been really in terms of quality, has really reduced in terms of quality. I mean, most of our players have ended up going average clubs, more or less. In terms, we've had that issue for some time, and I want to believe that in terms of development, we've not really had players who have developed to a high level to warrant all those kind of transfer fee.
But indeed, they can command such.
Yeah, Wilfred has quality. You know, I was discussing with you some days ago, and I told you that Wilfred can easily play in Manchester United. When you look at the defensive midfielder, even in Liverpool, I mean, Henderson is not as good as Wilfred Ndidi, but he needs to do a lot because the higher it gets, the tougher it becomes. The expectations are high, so you need to up your game. You need to constantly improve. And that is the problem with Nigerian players. I think the quest for money, when they get it, it becomes an albatross to their improvement.
And also, they need to align themselves with top agents. I mean, I see somebody like Wilfred, a fantastic player. I wonder if he has if he has a Mino Raiola, as his agent, definitely will be somewhere close to Real Madrid. That's what I'm saying. So his agent is obviously not doing a great job. And because at the level that he is now, the quality of play that his stats are fantastic, he should be somewhere in Real Madrid.
Well, because I had to throw that because that was a very important comment right there. Someone is asking, do we really play rugby in Nigeria? Yes, we play rugby in Nigeria. They have a fantastic league, and this is where the federation must come out and do more programs to enlighten people that rugby is big in this country.
Yeah, we are playing rugby, and you see, what is happening now we might look at it as very small, but if we continue, if the federation becomes consistent and these players are exposed and you begin to see them. Sometimes when you play in friendly games, you might not know who is there.
Yeah.
And when you see a talent and pick, that talent can help open ways for the rest of the other players.
Thank you so much,
Always
Joseph
pleasure.
Mukuzi, for stopping by. Onye, welcome back. And don't disappear again. Good to have you back. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
and of
having
course,
me.
to you, wherever you're in the world watching Sports Tonight on Channels Television, thank you for your time. Keep talking to us on Twitter. We're Channels_Sports, Facebook, Channels-Sports. That's the show for the team. I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye.